Hey, what's up, Masters? Welcome to another episode of Path to Mastery podcast. Today, we are here with Mr. Joe Marshall. Joe, what's going on, man?
Oh, great day in Texas. Great to be here. Excited. Be honest, we're a little nervous too. I mean, this is a pretty big platform. So, but I appreciate you, having
Yeah,
me up here. Yeah.
of course, man. Well, I appreciate you investing the time, and no need to be nervous, man. I'm nervous. I don't know. I don't know anything about what you're talking about. Usually I have people on, I kind of have a little bit of an idea, but like with
Right.
you, I'm here learning. So that's why I love having people
Good.
like you on, so I can learn and I can understand things at a deeper level. So we definitely
Right.
appreciate you joining us
Ab-
today.
Absolutely. And I appreciate your podcast because, it gives a lot of different views, different people, from all over life, and business. So,
Sure.
yeah, people are getting a lot of knowledge out there.
Yeah, we have a audience of a lot of different salespeople in
Mhm.
multiple industries. So today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna share chart, crypto chart, something I've kind of got into recently. I want to talk about Bitcoin as well. We've got the halving coming up
Exactly.
geez, less than 2 weeks now. So a lot of things going on in that space. And so before we even go there, we met on X.
Right. Yeah. And
Yep.
one of the streams, I believe Gary Cardone
Gary
had put on.
Cardone.
And yeah, I appreciate him. He's a, big influencer, very, very successful businessman. And, a little guy like me, he's willing to share, information with and you yourself. And yeah, I appreciate that. Anywhere I can
Well,
soak up,
well, you know what's
any
funny, Joe,
knowledge.
is as Gary asked me to co-host a room with him, and I've got to co-host with him a
Mhm.
couple times, and
Yeah.
just there like a sponge, just absorbing like anything I can
Oh,
learn.
I hear
Like
you.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, it's kind of amazing, and the technology these days, be able to do that, is pretty cool as well. You
yeah.
know.
So what our goal today is to really figure out how to simplify
Oh yeah.
charts. So for
Mhm.
people that are interested, so at least they can have an understanding of what they're looking at. So your company is called Simplistic Gains. Is that
LLC, right? People can
LLC?
just Google Simplistic Games LLC, and the main reason for that name is it really is technical. Well, it's called technically classical technical analysis charting. Most people just call it charting. And it just helps people, guide through all the noise out there. You have all the, talking heads on the big broadcasting, news platforms,
Mm,
social media, and by seeing the chart, honestly, we're not trying to make day traders, heaven forbid, people. Just simply be able to pull up a chart, whether it's crypto, Bitcoin, gold, silver, stocks, what have you, and be able to see if it's really true. What someone had maybe giving you a tip. A lot of times, those tips, the highlights or people coming out really talking up an asset, no matter what it is generally at the very top. They don't really start talking about it before it blows up, so to speak. And a
mm.
lot of people, they don't know how to read the chart, see the trend, quite honestly. And I'll show you something later that 83% of your losses is because you're not doing this one thing. So
Okay.
hopefully by the time we're done, I'll be able to put you probably in the top 8% of compared to what other people know out there about just basic
Okay.
charting.
Well, I actually am writing. I wrote that down, and I'm gonna make sure we don't miss that one.
Okay.
So here's something I've noticed a lot on X, and this is something I learned. I was sharing before we started recording. You know, I'm not gonna say scam, although I think there probably are some like there's people that like pump up, like they'll jump in a
Oh,
room,
exactly.
there'll be
Yeah, you're
hundreds and hundreds of people all pumping and talking about something, and some of them are super like really like influential, kind of
right.
motivational, charismatic. and it gets you excited, and then you buy stuff, and then you see the price go
Yeah.
up, and then all of a sudden it just tanks, right?
Right. Yeah, that's very well. I started trading my own account back in 2005, and of course, that was before the crypto. I got into crypto first quarter 2017. Just honestly, just right place, right time. Okay, full disclosure, and it was life changing. Compared to the stock market regarding the type of gains you could make so quickly over a short period of time.
Mm,
And back then, uh, I kind of had experience, I don't know if you ever heard of them, like the pink sheets, the OTC type of stocks that's not really regulated. Some of them have a little bit of regulation, but it's kind of the wild, wild west. So
yeah.
that's where, I kind of got baptized, so to speak. And then rolling in the crypto, it was like I'd already, one, like sometimes you learn a new sport. Well, you can pull that previous knowledge from another sport over into it, and use those skills, those abilities, those techniques to help you be more competitive in the new sport that you're involved in. Uh, so yeah, that's why
So,
crypto really took. Yeah,
so let me, so to that, and so that's good that you have that prior background, that prior experience, which
mhm,
I didn't have any of that. And I think most people
yeah,
listening to this don't have any. Like I'm
right,
meeting with people every day talking about Bitcoin. They have like, they're no idea,
yeah,
or they don't
yeah,
care, or
yeah,
they're just like, yeah, it's just
mhm,
not present to a lot of people right now. So
right,
like, how do you, so going back to my point about going into like a space on X, getting excited about something, investing in it, and then 2 days later it's worth nothing.
right.
And I
Well, I've
hate to
been,
say that that's common because I'm seeing
yeah,
more and more of it. But how does
okay.
somebody now take what you do to avoid being in that situation?
Oh,
Does that make
that's
sense?
right. Oh, exactly. And it's pretty easy. Well, let me give you the background on a lot of the influencers. I'm not going to call anybody out because, I don't see their, uh, tax returns. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
a lot of that is paid for. Like you and I came up with, David Hill coin, and we want to pump it. So, we get with a few of those influencers, YouTube guys, and we go, okay, we're going to give you XYZ, number of dollars. And that's how it works. I've been approached, but I never have done that. So yeah, it's very simple. They give you so much money over an extended period of time, I guess, just like you would a TV station or a billboard, and you advertise and kind of pump it. And then also you can go to publications, crypto publications out there, because if you ever look at any of those articles, next thing your news stream on Google when you pull it up
Yeah.
is all about the next three altcoins that are going to go to $1 million, or and so on and so forth. So I gets people excited, and normally, not normally, 100% of the time, what happens, like you and I would buy into the coin, have millions of those coins, then we would put our money to work, pumping it up through the influencers, to publications, stuff like that. And then as it's going up, we're slowly selling off as it goes up because we don't want to, dump the price all of a sudden. And then when the final guys, when the word finally gets around out there, it's ready to collapse. So that's part of the strategy of how that works. But we can show you.
Well,
Yeah.
you're going to show us some charts. I mean, do you think it would seem like that's something that it needs to be regulated, or is going to be, like, I can't imagine
Well, I
it's
don't know if you could
it
ever regulate it because you can't really prove it. And I mean, I think it happens in the stock markets too.
is
You
okay.
know, quite frankly, having experience with that because a company can come out with good earnings. Normally, I'm not kind of getting off topic here. I don't
But
hold.
don't the stock market, like, those people have like trader licenses and stuff to do that, right? Where
Oh,
aren't
exactly.
aren't you
Yeah.
supposed to have like a license and be disclosing and things like that when that's happening?
Well, for some of those stocks, I mean, we can get on
Well,
YouTube
but
and
I'm
get the right.
referring more to the crypto now. But I get where
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm just and
Well,
I
I'm talking
definitely
about
want to get into
yeah.
charts.
Well, I was going to,
Uh,
yeah, real quick, just say the small cap stocks out there, like the .com bubble was a perfect example. And then also AI here recently, everybody's trying to put AI, in their name, in their company name and push it up. So yeah, it's the same human nature, fear, greed, is what moves the markets. And that's what makes it so predictable. And also history doesn't repeat itself. It's emotions that repeat, the fear, the greed, wanting to get in, wanting to make some quick money, who doesn't? Uh, so that's what we're looking at. But I can get, to brass tacks here whenever
Isn't
you
it, and
like.
isn't there a, if you can explain this too, there's like a greed and a
Mhm.
fear index factor. Is that right? Is that what it's
Oh
called?
yeah, well there is, but I'll show you on the chart
Okay,
where
yeah.
where it
Show
really
us.
is. Yeah, and let me see, share screen here.
So, well,
Okay, you
yeah.
should
All
see
right.
it.
I won't go into that side of it. So
Oh,
we'll stick with the charts today.
okay.
Um,
And also, I know I'm a slow talking Texan, but I can make these charts sing like Carrie Underwood. All right. So I appreciate,
yeah.
people's
Well, that's
patience
why I
with me.
asked you to be on about the charts. Really, just
Gotcha.
some other stuff's been on my mind lately because I've been playing around in some of these spaces, and then I realized I probably shouldn't be playing. At least, that's not true. Maybe I need to know what you're teaching us. This is what I need to know if I'm going to play around in those spaces.
Gotcha. Well, first of all, regarding the altcoins, because that's generally what people go into because they think just from a financial standpoint, that they want, the more coins, the better, which, I guess can be true. It's just psychological. They get a better or bigger return on investment rather than, and let's say have like right now, $69,000, they can't buy a whole Bitcoin. And if they did have, like $70,000, I could buy a whole Bitcoin. It's not going to move up. That return of that 70 grand is not going to return as much as if they, got into one of those altcoins,
Yeah,
for several dollars. And it makes you feel better to go, hey, I own, 10 million of this or 15,000 of that, as opposed to, just a little bit of Bitcoin. Okay.
sure.
Even though, I mean, not financial advice, but I think you need, just coming into it, maybe do the altcoins and then roll those profits into Bitcoin for a long term, maybe a retirement type hold. But everybody has their own,
Sure.
reason and need to take a look at it. But let me see here if I got, well, I'm trying to look at, oh, Solana. That's a popular one. What I wanted to try to do is pull up something, show something here, uh, that an altcoin everyone's heard about. Okay, and a few years ago we had there's an 80-80-120 rule. So once an asset hits 80, like $80, we did it with Litecoin in 2017. We did a bunch of them, but anyway, Solana was one of them since we are on this. As soon as it hit $80, and people can look it up on X, uh, we said it was going to 120, and it did. And that's a high percentage. And everything we do is a high percentage. If I don't have two reasons, two factors, and if I can't name it, then I don't do it. Okay. And that's the way uh, a lot of, folks are. They'll just buy in and they'll look at a chart and they can't name if that's a breakout or breakdown or what. As you can see, even with everything on here, I wanted to point this out. I'll go ahead and give it to your podcast people here. This is a measured move here from the bottom to the top, about 480% move, had a little pullback. And then as soon as it started breaking out again, we put this measured move over here to give us a estimate, a possible target. And we're looking about, 450 eventually. Now for Solana, that's not going to happen, overnight. It's not, financial advice, but just wanted to put that out there. What our
So
current.
I am completely lost, man. I've like
Okay.
no idea what like
Yeah.
so when you
Okay. Well,
say
that's
it's 450, so explain that. Like how would
okay. It's
you yeah,
yeah,
assess it's
kind of
gonna
a.
be 450?
Gotcha. Well, we just took this, and this, honestly, what I'm showing you now is the most advanced thing you're going to have to figure out. Okay, so it gets more simple. Bottom line, when we started breaking out here, and then we had this little pullback, I knew that was going to. If you can count to three, you can make money. In the stock market, crypto market, whatever. Because majority of the time you're going to have three legs, three moves on these assets before the deal's over. Then it's going to settle back down and then either roll over to the downside or trade sideways, build a foundation, support zone. Then
Why 3, Joe?
uh, well, that's just, I can't tell you. That's just the way what I found, how they've been moving. It has a little bit to do with Elliott wave, but that gets very, very complicated because you have waves in sideways. And you could get 10 Elliott wave guys right now looking at this chart, and you would come up with, 10 different strategies, 10 different, price targets, that sort of deal. So again, simplistic, uh, we just do it the basic, run up, the pullback, and the more shallow the pullback, the better. Okay. If you can stay in the upper third, you should be golden for another leg up. And that's what we're looking at. And like I said, this is the most complicated thing. And once you have it down, everything else is kind of simple, really.
So at the bottom of that leg, you call it right here, the
Yeah,
leg.
right here. Uh-huh.
So what is the price there?
Oh, about $21,
21.
21.50.
And then at the top of the first peak right there,
Yeah,
what would it be there?
123. Yeah,
Oh, wow. So,
123.
well, so that went up what? That went up a lot. That's what percentage is that?
Yeah, I can.
It's like 500% or something.
Well, it's 480. Yeah,
Oh,
close
I guess
enough.
that was a good guess for me, huh?
Yeah,
So
I'm
yeah.
impressed. You got
Um,
this down.
well, I sold a lot of real estate, so I understand how to at least calculate commissions. But
Yeah.
so then you go back down at the top now, and it dipped a little bit.
Right. And that's what you want, a pullback. I mean, it's just like, you run marathons, you need a rest at some point in time. So yeah, that's kind of the rest period. And then you have the breakout here, back up to the upside. We're just consolidating now. That red dash line is just showing, this high pivot. And I know I'm probably putting people to sleep here, but I'll try to spice it up here in a second. From 2021, everything you need to know about the chart is over here on the left-hand side, okay, regarding support, resistance. In other words, where buyers are coming in or buyers, started fading off. It's really as simple as that. And let me.
So are you saying that it follows a pattern? Is that essentially like if you could look at the
Oh,
history of it, you
exactly.
can see what it's going to do in the future?
Right, to a high, actually a pretty high degree. And here's, Bitcoin, for example. And since this was Monday, the 25th, I think on X, we started talking about this either Monday or Tuesday. That gray dash line, that's a measured move that
Can
we,
you zoom in on that a little bit so you can explain that to us? That
yeah,
like
that gray dash
then
line. Yeah,
the
it's a.
line and then the candles is another thing that people talk
Right.
about.
Now the candles, yeah, let me just take all that off so people aren't just okay. Okay, the candles here. What bothers, okay, first of all, as you see, there's not really much on this chart as far as the indicators. And I'll put these lines up here for our Patreon members, because it's more of a teaching, educational, you know, situation for those members rather than telling them, hey, buy into this altcoin, buy into that coin. I mean, you can uh, like they say, give a man a fish, fishing or teach him how to fish. You feeding for a lifetime. So it's more of an educational deal. But that's why all this is up here. Normally, I just keep everything clean. And like I said, simplistic. Back in the day when I first started out, I had every indicator you can think of on here. It looked like spaghetti all over the place. But as you'll see here, it's very simple. And there's uh, people say there's no absolutes, no guarantees in the market. There really is. 100% of the time, when uh, the 20, that blue line, that's all it is, just that 20 simple day moving average, and the 200 down here come together 100% of the time. They'll separate. Either price will break to the upside or it'll break to the downside because it's kind of trapped in there, only, two ways to go. And then the 20, will follow price to the downside far and away from the 200, or price will follow it, like it is now on Bitcoin, to the upside. Now, this is the weekly chart. Now, as you can see here, we can go back. Let me go to a longer one. This is shows the 200 and the 20 going way back. Now, this area here was the run 2 halvings ago. In other words, where it went parabolic, basically 2016, 2017. And this is just what I want to show you. How you can make it simple rather than looking at a daily chart every day. During this cycle, and we're in it right now. Actually, it started in November, the breakout, the bottom, and I posted that in January 2023, that the bottom was put in right in here, November, December of 20, and I'll find it here a sec, 2022, and that timestamp is on X. But I want to go back and show you, the tendencies. Just like a football team, they watch film to see the tendencies and the expectations of the other team. But that 20 on the weekly chart, that 20 you could hold and mode, so to speak, Bitcoin on this weekly chart through the top. Now, as you can see, the 20 and the 200 came together back here, 2015. We rode the 20, okay, all the way up. Now, how do you pick the tops? We're real good at that, and the bottoms. And one of the tips, one of the tricks is that, the further away you are from the 20, the higher the odds, higher probability you're going to start getting a pullback. See, every time we started pushing up over that blue line, we either consolidated and let that blue line catch up, or we pull back into it. And this works the same thing on a.
So what is the blue? Who created the blue line? Like, well, it looks like a purple line to me, but the purple
this
line down there. Yeah, what
here.
What line is that?
Well, we're on. That's the 200, and what that is. Okay, that's a great question. I'm sorry, I should have said that.
Yeah,
that blue line right here, since we're on a weekly chart, it's the average closing price of the last 20 weeks. Okay, and if we were on a daily chart, it would be the average closing price of Bitcoin over the last 20 days. Okay, if we were on an hourly chart, the last 20 hours, so on and so forth. And the 200 is, the last 200 weeks, the average price. And then if you're on the daily, that would be the
200 weeks. So that's almost 4 years. Is that what it is?
Right. Yeah. Where that purple line is.
Okay.
And they all, like I said, they always come back together, even though we're real separated here. That's another thing. The bigger the space, the higher the odds, high probability, whatever asset it is. And I can go to the Dow Jones and show you where multi-generational wealth was being made. Matter of fact, I'll click this up and show you here in a second. To show you that this works on any asset, but what I'm showing you. But anyway, yeah, you get a little bit away from the 20, will come back in, as you see, all through here. And then once you start trading under the 20, again, the top's pretty close to being in. Okay. Now you can get back over it, but a lot of times you'll come back in and get what? Close to that 200 again. You start getting close to that 200. See the blue and the purple line? Then, like that, hunting dog, country dog laying up on the porch, when his ears perk up, hey, something's getting ready to happen. And that's what you should do when you start seeing this, because 100% of the time, guaranteed, I'll bet my life on it. The 20 and 200 always come back in, whether you're on a 2-minute chart, every little candle is 2 minutes of price action, or a daily or a weekly, then they will separate. Okay. Far and away. Now that was the COVID slam down. And that's another little trick. There's guys out there that yeah.
Can you show us where we are now with
Oh
Bitcoin?
yeah. I'm sorry.
Let's bring us like,
I just want to
yeah,
kind
that
of
gives us
prove
a
the
good
theory,
understanding. Thank
Okay,
you.
now we're taking off. See how we consolidated? Let that 20 catch up. This is perfect. This is beautiful. Now, this is what wrecks people or mentally frustrates people when you're in these sideways consolidation zones here.
We've been there for a while, about a couple months
Well,
anyway,
this
right?
is, yeah, well, this is where we are now. I'm just showing you how it kind of started.
Got it.
This is a better example. Uh, yeah, when you're in these zones, it's really called an inside bar pattern because you're trading sideways inside this one
So
bar.
what was that zone that you highlighted there? What is the
Oh,
pricing there?
this is back where we're in the 40s.
30s,
Yeah,
40s?
30s, 40s. As well, you can
Got it.
see over here when I move that mouse up and down. See, we're in the low 40, to 44. So very tight for Bitcoin. It's a very tight consolidation zone. And yeah, and then what you do, it can wick over that zone, it can wick under it. But as you see, right where I have the mouse, that's the inside bar. That's that one candle bar that everything's trading in. And price is trapped. And we love to see these because guaranteed, there's only two places price can go, either to the upside or downside. So this breakout candle, boom, starts scaling in. And what I mean scaling in, that's what the institutions do, the smart money. That if you have $1,000, 100,000, however much, putting it all in at once builds bad habits, and it can cause you to get, stopped out and lose pretty quick by doing that. So you just scale in, 5, 10, 15%, whatever your risk management is. And then same with pulling out of the market as well. So that's, one little tried and true setup. Another one, you'll see it all over with Bitcoin. Here's a 2 down, in other words, 2 red candles closing down inside a green candle, and then 70% of the time you'll have a follow through candle to the upside. Now talking about present day, this is where we are. Matter of fact, let me go to this one and I'll give you some.
I think we're at like 69.9 right now. I just looked at it.
Yeah, I'm going to show you something to this one. This is inside information right here. Okay. I'm just being honest. All right. Reason why I have it set, this is basically what they call a bull flag. You can see a little flag here. I have it highlighted, and then the pole, coming up into it, and it's very simple. A lot of guys will pull it all the way down here, where we actually started breaking out. But I like to be conservative and not, try to pump people up, going, "Hey, we're going to, $500,000 Bitcoin." But when we break out, which we will, see, we're in that consolidation zone again. Right through here is 33, I guess 34 days right now in there. And that's whipsawing people out. That's on purpose. That's, the exchanges, that's how they make their money, on the on ramps and off ramps. And that's why the institutions are in there. That's how they're going to make their money on this, as well as, the fees, of course. But when buying and selling, people getting emotional in here. And if they know how to set this up like this gives you a peace of mind. You know what I mean? For over a month, majority of people have been, you've seen all the tweets,
Yeah,
all the
I
noise.
watch it.
Yeah.
I watch it
And
up and down every day.
so, and then what we're waiting on is just a breakout candle similar to this, where the blue arrow is here. See, same thing, but just a smaller period of time. See, boom, that cleared it. Okay. And then that's what we're waiting on. And then from this breakout, it's, again, a measured move, like we showed you on that first chart with Solana. Okay. Our expectations are, well, I'm going to say about 95,000. Okay. It says here 97.5, but, 95, I think we could conservatively, hit that. But even backing up from that, like I was talking about earlier as well, that 80-80-120 rule. If we get a weekly close, in other words, uh, a candle that has a whole week of trading action over 80, we clear 80, then we should have an 80% probability odds of going to 120. And I think that's very, very possible, very conservative for 2024. Okay.
Wow.
And then what was I going to show you? Okay, let's go back to the altcoin. That's basically
Well,
what a
you
lot.
mentioned the 83% of losses can be
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
avoided
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
I'm
of
glad you
this
said
one
that.
thing. So
Yeah.
let's go there, and I don't want to get too much into the altcoins.
Okay, we'll
Um,
just stick with Bitcoin. It's the
but
same principle.
yeah,
Okay, well, see, even on this chart, I was showing you the weekly a few minutes ago, and how it was hugging the 20 when we were going back and looking at uh, halvings that happened years ago. But see, here's the 200 again, and this is where we got our members in round in here. The blue is the add-ons. Okay, the scale ends. And we knew, hey, we're going to get far and away from the 200 there. Okay. And then the gold is where we take a little off the top. Okay. And and this right here, we're not recommending to our members to start, scaling in, scaling out. But, well, let me get back to your question. Okay. But you want to be trading with the 20. It's like jumping in a river. It's a lot harder to, paddle, swim against the current. You want to stay with the current. Okay. On any timeline whatsoever, you want to try to, you know, be with the 20. So you could take a 20-day moving average on any chart, on any timeline, daily, weekly, what have you, and you want to be with, go where your mindset should be. Hey, we're in a trend, we're moving up. No matter what chart I pull up, Apple, Meta, Google, whatever. I want to see the 20. If I'm bullish or looking for it to be bullish, I want to see the 20 over the 200. The closer, the better, because you're going to have more run. You're going to have more space. You're going to have, room to make those gains. So right now, this consolidation is really great. Like if I just now came into Bitcoin, for example, this consolidation is really good, and it's right here by the 20. So, and nothing happens, you know, real strong with an asset unless it's in and around the 20 regarding a breakout or a breakdown. Generally happens in and around that 20. So again, pull up something and it's trading like it in this area here, just wait for a confirmed break to the downside or that break to the upside to enter. And if it's far and away from that 20, I would just hold off, let it pull back in, because it will. I mean, that's a guarantee and 100% promise of the market. It'll always go sideways or sideways and down, and let that 20 catch up, and then you just wait for it. But the reason why we have these gold arrows here on this chart is that I'm already preparing mentally and emotionally our members for for down the road. We already know within a few months, actually a short period of time, of when we're expecting Bitcoin to top and or the altcoins, okay, because of those patterns, cycles that it's had previously. So what we're doing is we're preparing ourselves for then when for the next, however many months, like for Bitcoin specifically, we're thinking, 16, 17 months from now, we should start seeing a pop, a top rather. And
wow, that long, huh?
Yeah, we think and it could be longer. I'm just being conservative
Wow.
here. Like, you know,
So
probably,
16, 17 months, that's what's a
yeah,
couple hundred thousand?
that puts us deep into 2025.
Wow.
Yes, sir. And the gold arrows here, like if, and what I do literally, I tell them, okay, this is April, 2025, around the 2024. And we're practicing, mindset, because after that big run, uh, people don't want to give that up, especially with the altcoins, because, every day, whatever, people are refreshing their portfolio because it's going up, depending on how much money you invested and when you got in, people are, refreshing their portfolio, seeing it up, a few
So
$100s, a few $1,000s, and that gets very addictive, as you can
yeah.
imagine, you know. So we're already preparing for that. My background is teaching and coaching, and a big part of our success was, relaxation and mental imagery. And this was, way back in the day, we were practicing that for our players be prepared for those high stress situations, because they, been in it, done it, seen it, and it's no big deal. So these are the scale
So
out.
so
Yeah.
let me ask you a question again about the purple line, because maybe I'm confused, but
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
it seems
yeah.
like the purple line is so far away now.
Mhm.
We would never want to get down to the purple line again, right?
Well, we will. We will. It might be, like I said, some
So
point
is
in
the purple line
2020.
just higher now? Is that the point? The purple
Yeah,
line is
it'll keep
higher.
rolling. Yeah, it
Got it.
will.
Okay,
It'll,
that makes sense. All right,
but
that makes sense now.
we'll still have a spread here. Yeah, a spread there. And yeah, so that's
But
the,
that's kind of scary, actually, if you think about it, because if you
well,
go
that's
back
just
4 years,
right. See,
that's
even down here, it from, well, let's go to the weekly, because reason why I like these bigger time frame uh, deal. Let me take everybody's attention away from that to the Dow, and because I want to prove that it works. Okay, because uh, you got to over time, and let's go back uh, here. This was, the roaring 20s. Electricity, automobiles. Uh, Kids, young adults coming in from the farms into the cities, to make a living, industrial revolution, et cetera, et cetera. And as you can see, here's the 20, the 200. No, let me go way back. I want to go back. Sorry, I had the monthly chart. Here it is. Let me see, 19. Yeah,
well, I mean,
trying to get to the,
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, we believe
correct.
you. I'm
Oh,
just,
okay.
I was
And
just
then,
thinking, like, I
yeah,
guess you're right though, because as it goes up, the bottom comes up with it. That's essentially
right.
what's happening, right? Like,
Right, exactly. I
so
mean, it's going to, correct. Um, and
so that, I mean, to me,
yeah,
that makes
just
sense.
yeah, through history. See, and then it always comes back in to it, uh, so on and so forth. And then, uh, yeah, let
So the
me.
challenge would be if someone buys in, I guess someone is
Okay. Yeah,
buying in.
let me apologize to everybody out there for being so slow at this, pulling this up. But here we go. Here's the, 1920. I was on a monthly chart. Should have been on this weekly chart that I've been showing you. And yeah, here's the correction. All this over here, uh, if you knew what you were doing, and all this is multi-generational wealth being made, and this is multi-generational wealth being lost, unless you went short. And of course, we show people how to do that as well. Matter of fact, you make more money going short than long over a shorter period of time. As they say, it stairs up, elevator down. But anyway, I just wanted to show that. I don't know if I have it on this chart, but also markets. People need to know how markets.
Can you just zoom in, and then we're gonna start wrapping up because
Yeah,
we're coming to time. But can you zoom in on like a candle and show us like how the candle, like works because I've
Yeah.
like
Okay.
uh,
Let me go. Would you like me to go back to Bitcoin?
yeah, Bitcoin, yeah,
Stay on the
Bitcoin is great.
subject. Okay. I just kind of wanted
Well,
to.
and I'll tell you why. Like for me, what I learned about Bitcoin, and my wife, this is the other day. Um, my wife showed me Ethereum, and by looking at the price of Ethereum, I
Uh,
knew what the price of Bitcoin was, which was like, wow, I don't even know how I did that, but just by looking at where Ethereum was, I kind of got an idea. Okay, Bitcoin's here, and it was almost exactly there. So
okay.
everything, the reason I say that is because everything pretty much goes up and down with Bitcoin, right?
Okay.
Like
Gotcha.
everything. Is that
Right. And
true or
yeah,
is that not
no,
true?
you're 100% on. Yeah. And well, okay, here's the daily chart. That's what, most people would pull up. And yeah, this is Ethereum. And right now, your spread, you got that nice spread between the, 200 and the 20. But even on the
Can you
daily,
zoom in on one of those candles more?
yeah. And what I want to show you here, this is perfect. This is exactly what we've been talking about, recently, is that consolidation zone. Now you see this green candle here. All right, it's as simple as this is. Right now, we are in what we call an inside bar. Everything's closing inside that candle bar. Okay, so right now, instead of being, you ought to be rubbing your hands together, going, "All right, we're fixing to make it," because it's trapped. Price is trapped. Only two ways to go: either break out or break down. And let me illustrate a little bit more right here. So just sit on your hands, trapped in here, sideways, small price level, up and down, small range. We're either going to go to the upside or downside. Okay. And then that's what you would make your decision on. Uh, Trying to get in, get out, the way it's trading now, probably going to get whipsawed back and forth. Uh,
So
for
what's Joe? What's the arrow? Like there's a point on the top, like they call it the wick, right?
Oh
What is?
yeah, yeah.
Explain that and like what's
Okay,
the difference?
well, to make it simple, there's a million, well, I kind of exaggerate, a million different candles, that sort of deal. And again, I go back to that, hound dog laying on the porch. There's just three or four that you really need to know about. Okay. And one of them is this bottoming tail, where all that was bought up, bought up, bought up. And, this one was as well. And each one of these, I like to say, it's a 30% each bottoming tail that you get in a row. They call them tweezer, a lot of different names, but each one you add 30% to, meaning there's a 30% probability, since it's on a downtrend, prices coming down, and all this was bought up, right over the 30% chance we're going to push to the upside. Okay, it didn't happen. Right here, that's what I was talking about, the factors. You need at least two factors, be able to name it in order to get into that position, either to the upside or downside. Okay. This one, not as long, but still, so that's a 60% chance. And then we did break out, but all that, came back in, obviously. So that didn't work out. And then these gold arrows, again, it's just practicing for, when we actually put that in force, just showing people, where we would have scaled out, we got in way back here. So that's a nice move up, so on and so forth. And then right here, still looking at the end days, so to speak, when this market starts rolling over, which it will, this was the scale in. And this another deal. This is going to say people, I guarantee, well, not financial advice, okay, but it's worked for hundreds of other people. You will never get wiped out on the market. There's two types of people in the market, depositors and withdrawers, okay? Depositors are probably 92% of the market, both stocks and crypto. They're the folks that keep having to put money into their account in order to keep a certain balance, in order so that they can trade, or so they they got wiped out, so they got to put more money in it. The other group is like 8% of the market, and those are the withdrawers, people that are able to withdraw money out of their account. Okay, and this is what separates the two. I don't think anybody else does this, but big worlds, who knows? All right, this is a bigger than average candle. Okay, let me go to Bitcoin. Let me show you real life here. Okay, we're getting a little breakout here. See, nothing happens good until we get in and around the 20. Big breakout candle. I would have scaled in there, and then let me draw this line right through. Oh, that's in my way. Right through here. And since this candle is bigger than average, I would have put my stop loss half of that candle. Okay, because I had really a couple of three factors. Number one, I had a potential reversal candle here at a time count 3, 4, 5, 3, 5, 7, and 9. You get at least an opposite color candle or a reversal. And then we were over the 20. 20 is pushing up. That's a bullish engulfing clearing candle. This only thing you need to know is a big green candle, big red candle, those topping tails and bottoming tail. That's about it, really, as far as the shape of the. And
all right, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen now.
okay.
Come back, Joe. Appreciate it. So I mean, you shared a lot of great information with us. I think we probably, at least for me, I probably could do this for another 2 hours and before I completely understand
Gotcha.
it. But what do you what would you say is the one thing like everybody should be taking from what we talked about today to simplify it for
Well,
everybody?
I guess number one, you have to have a little bit of training, a little bit of education, which builds your confidence. If you're real nervous about what to do, how to do it, if you can't, see it, name it, have two reasons or more, two or more reasons gives you an 83 to 87% odds probability that your thesis will work out. And then the main thing I would say on this, put your stop losses in there. Like here, I never lose more than either a half candle or a full candle. Okay. Let's say I was, trading right, trading right now, or I bought in on this candle here. Okay. This more obvious.
Well,
And
I'm not sharing the screen anymore, so nobody can see
okay.
it. But
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah,
I would, whatever candle you got in on whatever timeline, it'll generally happen the next, one or two candles. Your thesis didn't work out for whatever reason. News came out, whatever black swan event, you'll get stopped out or reverse on you. Okay,
so
so
the stop means you're either selling or you're exchanging, correct?
well, yeah, or you're getting out completely. I'm getting out because I'm going in a small amount, 5, 10, 15, 20%, whatever, depending on what we're doing. So I'm taking that back out as quick. Now it's not going to be the same, 15% I put in. Like if it was $2,000, it's going to be a little less than that because I lost a little bit plus commission or whatever. But a lot of people, and I know this because I used to do it back in the day. They keep waiting, for it to turn around. I know it's going to turn around. There's news coming out. This is happening, that is happening. And then, first of all, they're down maybe $200 and they go, well, I'll just let it ride the 250. 250 hits and they go, man, I'm already down 250. Let me try to wait it out. It's going to turn around. And then they're down 300, 500. And then one day they open their screen up and they're down so much that they're just, like a deer in the headlights. They don't know what to do. They don't know whether to sell or just, forget about it and hope it comes back up, to where they, got in, try to break even at least on that deal. So I would say that, your first loss is all your smallest loss. And yeah, you can put a dollar amount, like I'm not going to lose any more than, $100, $75, but your mind plays games on you and you get to $75 and you go, no, I can lose. I'm all right. I can lose 100. You get to 100 and, your mind plays games on you.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is to say, hey, I was wrong. Let me, jump out of here. And then you have money, you're not one of these guys always depositing money in your account is what I'm getting, or getting wiped out. Okay. Because every candle that you lose, you're going to gain 3, 4, 5, 7 candles, whatever. You're going to catch those runs. If
Yeah.
you know the setup. So it's just an odds game, to be honest with you. And you are able to put those odds. If you're ever, out there doing anything without an unfair competitive advantage, you're probably going to lose. Okay. So
True.
that's what you
So
need to, yeah.
So tell our people how the best way to get in touch with you, and if you have something coming up that they can access. I told you I would
Right.
let you,
Well,
obviously.
first of all, also want to, give a shout out to Travis. He goes by the handle Economic Ninja. He's one of the largest financial educational influencers that's straight up honest. I've done a couple of collaborations with him, partnerships. So I know he's straight up. Give him a follow on, YouTube. It wasn't for him. What I'm saying is he reached down, pulled me up, and helped me, build my business and what have you. And so I wanted to, give him a shout out. And then for me, they can just, the title of the video here is, or however you do it, Simplistic Gains LLC. They can Google that and find me on X or YouTube or whatever. But what we do, only about 1%, 2% of what we do for our, members, do our post out there. You got to have some sort of, you got to give something free away, like I did today, in order to advertise. But I don't like giving a lot away because our members are paying, paying
I
for it.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we appreciate you giving on the show today. I think you showed us a lot. I know you showed me. I learned a lot, and so just want to say thank you, man. Appreciate you
you're
coming
welcome.
on, and I'm going to encourage everybody to make sure they connect with you on
Yeah.
X.
And also, I appreciate people having patience with me. There's so much. My head was just blowing up. Stuff I wanted to share and show you.
Yeah.
If they want to learn any more, if they have a particular coin or even stock, whatever it is, gold, silver, if they'll DM me on X, I'll put together a chart just for them. Okay, on that, because I appreciate them watching.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate you, Joe. It was nice to connect with you offline, and I look forward to seeing you online again, man. And maybe do
We'll
this
be
again
there.
when we have
Okay.
when. All right. Appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. All right.